and then you can go back and see how it works. Oh, okay, it is recording. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is let's create an if statement here. So let's do equals if. Okay, open parenthesis. No, it does it automatically. Okay, now click on the cell that you want to test the condition for, which is the one right to the left.
Just this one?
Yep, just click on that. So if that is greater than or equal to 42, so you're going to put greater than or equal to. Okay, 42, comma. Now, if that's true, we want to do this. So we're going to put the word yes. So put quote, yes, quote. Then comma. And if it's false, we want to put whatever is here. So we're going to put quote, no quote. Close parenthesis and hit enter. Did they make the playoffs?
Very good. No, they did not.
Cool. So now what you're going to do is you're going to copy that all the way down.
Well, I'm sorry. I just wanted to format it.
I lost the screen again. How do I?
You lost the screen?
Or the spreadsheets that you're looking at for Lauren. I don't know where it went.
You can't see her screen?
I did. I don't know what happened.
Look for the Zoom. You're probably out of Zoom, is my guess.
Oh.
Because there's nothing that we do on our side that if I can see it, you should see it. So like hit, you're on a Windows or Mac?
Windows.
So if you're on Windows, like hit Alt, I think it's Alt Tab or Control Tab, and it should tab you through applications. Just find the Zoom application. Do you see it, Eric?
I have the menu bar with stop video, participants.
Hold on. What do you see on your screen?
I just see participants 3 and launching. I had the screen. I just don't know where it went.
Do me a favor. Try and disconnect and connect back into Zoom. Can you do that? Just close out of Zoom and log back into Zoom.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay. Now I got it. I don't know it must have been on another screen.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So all she's doing now is copying and pasting. Now hold on before you continue, okay?
Yeah.
Now some of them are going to be wrong because with the NBA playoffs, it's each conference. You know, like the Eastern Conference, you could have had 40 wins and made the playoffs. So just scan them by eye and look for where you have yeses and it's no's and it's not green, or no's and it's green, yeses and it's not green. You got to edit like 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I see here is a no.
Right.
And I actually chose the number was too small. I mean too large. I put 41 and it's actually 39 here.
Yep. But you might want to change the whole column then, just in case.
Right.
And again, you can just edit the ones that are wrong.
So should I just? Oh.
And when I say edit, I mean just overwrite it. Don't even worry about the formula. Just put in no or yes.
You know, it's the oddest thing. I have a Mac and I always use a PC for work, and I cannot find the escape key on my computer.
It should be top left.
Nope, it's not on this computer.
On your Mac?
It's not here.
What type of Mac do you have?
It's the one that has the like the digital bar on top. I can't find the escape key. It's so bizarre.
Hold on. Let's see. So you have a newer MacBook?
Yes.
Just hold on 1 second. I'm pulling up an image for you. That is weird.
It is weird. I mean, you know, that's one thing that I would probably be able to figure out. I can't figure it out.
Because there should be an escape key. I'm seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, hold on. You know why? Because it's on that digital board.
I know, and I'm trying to figure out how to get to it.
I love when the kids are yelling at each other. Yeah, it's on the touch bar. We lose Eric? Yep.
Yeah, I think we might have lost him.
Up to have your touch bar.
So depending on the app that I'm using or the program, the
Right.
touch bar changes, and so even still, I can't seem to find the escape bar in anything.
Yeah, I don't have one, so I can't.
I'll figure it out another time. It just
Okay.
When you're in Excel, you want to get out of Excel. It's easier just to hit escape. Anyway, but I'm curious, why is that the case? Where, for example, in the Excel that I have highlighted now, K.
Could you zoom in for me, please? It's a little hard for me to say.
Sure. So I'm in K 30.
Right.
It's 41, so
Right.
that should be a yes.
Well,
I mean,
yes,
should be a
it should be no.
It should be a no, but it's a yes. Why is that?
Because the formula says it's a yes, right? Because we just did it by number. But like I said, in the NBA, the other conference, you may have had 41 wins and still not made the playoffs, right?
Oh, okay. So now that's adding a variable that I would never know because
right. And not only is it variable, no, you really don't have that variable here. So just literally overwrite it to no. Just type the word no in there. Done.
Sure.
Everywhere where that happens, you just type no. And the opposite, if you have a no, but it was green, you just change it to a yes.
Okay. I think I got them all, yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right, so then but I need to have your help with the pivot table too. Let me just format this real quick.
You can copy those. I'll show you to do the pivot table, and then you can fix them later, and the pivot tables will automatically update.
Okay.
Eric, are you back? You're not joined by audio because we can't hear you. If you need to call and you're having internet problems, I'll send you the invite so that you can call. I always figure out ways to solve problems. Chats. There's the invitation.
Okay. I will double check those to make sure they're all correct. I know there's some mistakes there, but I started to try to add the pivot table, but I'm not sure what to do there at all.
Okay, so let's try again. Hold on, I'm just sending a note to Eric. Can you hear us? Nope, he just got kicked off again. He said his internet connection is fine, but usually that's a spotty internet. Hey, Eric. Oh, he's back. Okay, he couldn't hear us either. All right, while we're doing that, I want you to highlight the whole table.
Okay.
And don't forget, you're going to need one more playoffs at the end.
Should I just do this, or that's not going to work?
And that is fine. But okay. You're taking, no, I'm sorry. You're taking too many. You need to only go to 31. Hand there. All right, so now that you have that, Right? Now what we're going to do is go up to the top where he says insert pivot table. Now you have everything highlighted, which is good. That's what you want. And you're going to put it to a new worksheet. Okay? It doesn't have to be on the same worksheet. But if you want to do it on the existing worksheet, that's fine. Just choose the spot where you want to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I'll do a new worksheet because this is full.
Yep. It's a lot easier to do it in a new worksheet. You can just label it Q33, problem 56, pivot table or PT. I'll know what that is.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and click
I do
OK.
that here, or I do that when it's okay.
You do that when it's done. It'll create the new sheet, and then you can relabel that down there. Okay. Cool. Now we're going to create a pivot table. So what you're going to do is it wants to know the salaries and the wins, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to take click on the pivot table. Somehow you clicked off of it. Now the pivot table fields come back. Hey, Eric. Okay, now you're going to click on salary 2004, 2005. And you're going to drag that to the values column. Not when you click on it, it automatically does it in the rows. Just drag it from there to values. Good. Get rid of the rows now. So right mouse click on the rows and
Here?
do delete. Yep. Now do remove field. Okay. Now you have a sum of salary, but we want to change that to an average. So click on the little I next to the sum of salary there in the bottom right. Right mouse click, yep, click on that I and change it to average. Click OK. Now that gives us an average of everything. But we want this broken down by the wins and whether they made the playoffs or not, right?
Yeah.
So now, hold on. One second. I'm going to send Eric the telephone number. First. Chats.
I see him on there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's not seeing the audio. I mean, not hearing us. But if he clicks on that phone number, then he can call. He can see the screen and call. Okay, now that that's done, I go back to you. Okay, now what I want you to do, is scroll down and get the wins of 2004, 2005.
I'm sorry, the what?
Wins of 2004, 2005. Scroll on your field name list, top right. You see the pivot table fields to the right?
Yeah.
Scroll down.
Hello.
Hey, scroll down. There you go.
Okay.
Take wins, take playoffs. I'm sorry, playoffs. Drag that to the rows. Now you have the yes and no. You see how it gave you the count of playoffs?
Yeah.
So for 2004, 2005, we had the average salary was 3.7 million if you didn't make the playoffs, and if you did make the playoffs, it was 3.9. You had 18 teams make the playoffs and 12 people not make the playoffs. Don't worry about the dollar sign.
Wow, that is very cool. But okay, obviously I did it the way that you told me to do it, but I have to understand how that happened so that I can do it again myself.
So when you have a bunch of fields like you do in the table, the field of information,
yeah,
you can basically choose them and Excel will pivot them for you. Now think of what a pivot means. A pivot is basically taking a column and making some of them rows and then aggregating some of the information in the values.
Right.
So on the right here, what you see is you have series of values. The values are going to be the computation. So if you're looking for the average salary, average customer sale, average order for customers, total count of customers based on region, that goes into the values. And your rows becomes the category that you want to kind of like aggregate on. In this case, we're aggregating on whether or not the team in the NBA made the playoffs.
Okay, I see. So it's the value here of the average salary and the count of playoffs.
Those are your numbers that are going to be aggregated, and your rows
is the actual playoffs. I see.
Now,
Right.
you could put, if you wanted to, you could put them in columns, and you would get aggregation or sub-aggregation by columns. So let's say this data set won't work well, but let's say you have, you want to aggregate sales of wine by
Right.
red wine and white wine. I could put those in the rows, right? But
Mhm.
then if you have 4 or 5 brands, each one having a red and a white wine, you could put those in the columns. Now you're going to aggregate the values of the sales by the columns and the rows, which would be by brand and red or white wine.
Right. Okay. I got it. And now I looked at the question, and now the question makes sense to me based on this pivot table.
Cool.
Okay. This is great. So I should do the same thing for each year.
Yep.
For this problem.
Yep. And you can put them right on top of each other, put the next one at 10 and so forth.
Okay. Very cool.
Okay.
While I have you, can I ask you one other question? When I slacked you before about how to copy and paste.
Yep.
So if I want to highlight, for example, everything in this column, I do Command Shift down.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, and that made all of this work much, much faster for me.
Yep.
Especially when you have 500 rows of data, to scroll down takes a lot of time, and you miss the end, and it's very frustrating. But when you were copying and pasting, like let's just say, for example, I'm copying and pasting this formula.
Yep.
Rather than grab it here and pull it down.
Yep.
Again, if I have 500 rows of data, it takes forever. Is there a function?
Yeah, double click. If you double click, so watch this. I want you to highlight from the 3 all the way down to the 31. Just from 3 to 31. Go all the way down and hit delete. I'm going to mess up your data for you.
Okay.
Go up to the no. You see that little green box at the bottom of the highlight? Double click it.
Oh my God, that's
now. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Okay.
You can do that, but what it's using is the column to the left. If the column to the left has a value, it will copy the field. If there's a blank, it stops.
Okay, got it. But usually this, what I'm trying to accomplish here, will always have a value.
That's correct.
Okay. That is a huge time saver. Thank you for that tip.
Okay, Eric, you're the next caller. You can stick around, Lauren, if you want.
Yeah, I do want
to. Yeah, I don't know what happened with
it's okay.
Zoom, but can you see my spreadsheets?
Hold on one second. Let's see. Stop participant sharing. Okay, so you may have to share again. I just stopped Lauren sharing.
What do I do?
Can you share your screen again?
I can figure out how to do that.
It should be at the bottom. It should say share.
Share screen. Okay. Screen.
Yep.
Okay.
And now I can.
This was question. That's the wrong one. Sorry. 56.
56. Yep.
So I did. Well, that's what you guys are just doing here.
Yep.
So I did the scatter plots for each. Basically I had to cut and paste and rearrange things to get it. And I was the salary versus wins, but I was kind of concerned. But I guess it just played out. But if does it just assume if you highlight these two? I mean, I did it for every year that the first column is always X and the second column is always Y.
Yep, that's the default.
So what if by which is what they asked for, basically salaries on the X, wins on Y. But what if it was reversed? Is there an easy way so you don't have to play around and copy and paste again?
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to swap. You're supposed to be able to swap the rows. So try and make highlight the two columns. And then let's do insert chart. Go to insert. Take whichever chart you want over to the right. I guess you want to
scatter plot.
Yeah, scatter plot. Okay, now that gives us the chart. Now what we should be able to do is if you right mouse click on the data. Go to select data. Now you see that switch row column? Go ahead and switch row column.
Just click it.
Yep. Okay. Now take a look at click OK. Horizontal category access labels. I may have to remove one of them. Click OK.
What?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. That's wrong. Control Z. I'm in the wrong spot. Go back to your, hit Control Z again. There we go. Now right mouse click on the chart.
On the graph?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're going to do, go up to the top where it says chart design. It might be in there.
Switch row column.
Data being X will move. Yes. Nope, that doesn't like it. All right, hit Control Z. Okay, let's go back to, I figure out which one this is. Quick layout. Go to format for 1 second. All right, give me 1 second. Let me look in this version of Excel. Excel, I want to scatter plot. Excel. What version of Excel do you have? 2016?
I'm not sure. I think so.
1 second. Yeah, it should be right up there. Data. Okay, it is in that right. It is in that spot. All right, go back to right mouse click on the data. Right, there you go. Select data. Now what you're going to do is you're going to click edit right there. Click edit. No, to the left. Yep. Okay, now I can't see. Can you zoom that for me?
What do you mean?
God, I'm just having some problems with my eyes recently. Hold on 1 second. The series name is fine. We're going to swap the X values and the Y values. Okay. So what you can do is if you click, you see where it says Series X and Series Y?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you literally can just choose the other columns. So click on that.
Click on what? This?
That right there. Yep. Okay. You would have to choose the other column of C. So, and if you wanted to, by the way, I'll show you. If you click right where it says B.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just click that and just hit backspace. C. And then go to the other B. Backspace. C. And then hit enter or that thing. Yep. And then go to the series Y values. Click down there. Do the same thing, but change it from C to D.
I see. That's a lot of work.
Unfortunately, yeah.
No, I thought that you'd think maybe it would be something straightforward.
Excel
right?
is great, but when you get into complicated things like that, I hate saying the word complicated, but that's just what happens. It's not as easy to swap it.
But you agree with me? I mean, you think it would be
I totally agree with you. That's why I don't do. That's why I don't do some of that stuff like that in Excel.
Compared to other functions on here, I'd be like, oh, that should be pretty straightforward. Otherwise, you really gotta, cut and paste. It seems like it's probably easier just to cut and paste.
This is one of the reasons why other applications are built, like for visualization, like Tableau, Looker. Even my company, we're building. We've actually built and have a couple of clients with our own visualization tool to make it easy to do those things.
Okay, I was just curious because
good question.
So I did all these scatter plots, and it seems like there is some type of correlation with as salary goes up, wins kind of, or that teams are buying their way to success.
Covers hot, Susan. Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
It seems like that there is a relationship that as salaries go up, that teams are, find a way to success.
Yep.
Based on these. And then I did the, where is it over here? I did the pivot tables with you, and I did a little more on that. Did it for the rest of them. It seemed like it came out pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And my other question was, I'm trying to figure out how to lump this one into my other, from another chapter, the other on the tabs at the bottom, and I'm having some issues with that.
You're trying to do what?
Trying to put this as a all-in-one in a sheet or a workbook with the other ones.
Right.
I'm having some technical difficulties with it. Do I just go to the bottom and copy and paste? In terms of just putting in a workbook.
Yeah, do this. You move the question 3 first. The question 356.
Yeah.
Right? Copy that first. So basically take that and move or copy, and then put that to the sheet that you want, to the workbook that you want. So you see where it says workbook? Hold on. You see where it says workbook there? Right there? To book.
Workbook.
Up, right book. There.
Yeah.
You want to put this in P230? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then move to end. Click OK.
And I also need, I guess, this is
yeah, but you can only move them one at a time.
Shit. What?
That I don't understand.
Hold on. Trying to get the other Excel up. It's right here. No. P38. I'll move this. Okay.
Yep.
It's right here.
Pull it up.
Oh, is that why it's protected? Maybe.
Probably.
So if I take this one, do the same thing, move and copy.
Yep. Copy to the book. Wow. Put that in the sink. Why do you say wow? Because that's a big knife.
Oh.
Now you should be able to take your pivot table and copy it, because it should look for the same named spreadsheet, Q2 356.
Wait, no. Here.
Oh, wait. So when I did that, I lost it from it's gone, right?
Yeah, because you didn't create a copy. So that's okay. So take this and move or copy to the workbook that you want. And it should be okay to move to the end of, you can move it to the end.
Not to the same.
No, it can't, because this is a separate sheet. I'm okay with that. Just label it as such. Yeah, you're good.
But I lost it on the other one.
That's okay. It's here, right? That's all you care. If at the bottom, when you did the move or copy, if you click the checkbox that says create a copy, it will copy it. It won't move it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I just moved. I didn't copy it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay. And then I did the 58. I did this one here. I actually was able to figure out with the pivot tables I highlighted. I was able to get it in a new cell without any errors.
Mm-hmm.
It was, some of these questions are a little confusing how they're phrasing it. Basically, this here I have it by position, and these are the numbers by position of that played all 3 years.
Right.
That was question A. Then I did two more pivot tables, and by position, average,
yeah, there you
salary. Although It says for each of these, put all 3 years variable in the filters area. I didn't understand what it's talking about.
Don't worry about it. You did fine with this.
And somehow it broke it down to like basically yes. Shit.
Show me your pivot table. Watch. If you click on there, go to pivot table analyze up at the top.
What happened? Pivot table analyze. What do I do?
Up at the top. Yeah, in the menu. Yeah, there you go. Click that.
Oh.
Choose field list on the right, all the way to the right. Click that. Okay. Whoop, what happened? Where'd it go? There you go. And if you scroll, if you click on the yellow, by the way, X, where you have that yellow bar, we got to get rid of, we need some space here. And right above it too, that little arrow to get rid of the ribbon right there. Cool. All right, so you see in your values, right? You have the position, and you have yes and no, and all, you know, for all 3 years, right?
Right.
So you have yes and no. So it's telling you, did they play first base all 3 years? No. What was their average salary? What was and if they did, what was the average salary? So what would you want to do a little different?
Well, I guess based on the question, all 3 would be under yes, and they didn't really ask for no.
Correct. Now, what you probably want is, you may say, well, what if I only want all 3 years? I don't want to see the no. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's do this. What we're going to do is take all 3 years yes, no, and drag it to filters. Click OK. Wait a second. I got to make sure we're in the right spot. You should be in the right spot. This is 2009 average. Okay. Drag the yes, no, all 3 years out. What I mean by that is go down to the rows. Go down to where it says rows.
Okay.
Drag it back up to the field list.
Oh.
Good. Just there you go. Now it's gone, right? Now put the all 3 years into the filters. Not that one. Not overlap. Oh, I know why. You're gonna have to put your cursor on M. 13 M. You know what? Put it on M27. That's fine. Give yourself some room. Now, click on the pivot table.
There you go.
Just click on the pivot table. Oh no, it wants to do it. Oh, son of a gun. All right. Click.
It disappears.
Okay, that's okay. We have to fix something. You need more room between your pivot tables. I want you to put the cursor on M14 and highlight it all the way across until the end of the pivot table. Not down, just across. One more up. And now I want you to do one more up.
One more.
Stay right there. Yep, stay right there. Right mouse click. Can I take control of your screen real quick?
Yeah, lost. Sure.
Okay. Can you accept that? Good, thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this row. Okay, not the whole row because I don't want to mess up with the data. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert cells. I want to shift everything down. Okay?
Yeah. Right.
But I need to do this a couple of times. The reason is because when I do the filters, I can't have another pivot table above it. You know, like right, you know, like directly right above it, which is what's happening. So I'm going to give myself a few cells space. Okay.
So I see. You can't just throw it in there. You need more room.
Yeah, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. Now I'm going to give you back remote control. I would like you to put the yes, no field in the filters from the right. Put it in the filters. Good. Now you see how it wrote it above it? Okay, what happened was because you were too close to the other pivot table, it says, I can't write it there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, this is one of those things with Excel. Scroll over to the left. Now, watch this. Go to that drop-down box where it says yes, no, all 3 years. On the left, above your pivot table, above the pivot table by M and N. Click the little drop-down and choose yes. Click OK. That is only yes.
I see.
Okay?
Where before it was within
That's correct.
each position.
That's correct.
You can't just delete. You can't just, I guess, keep it in there and delete the no. And
no, you can't delete the no. You have to filter it out. Let me rephrase that. You could do it if you learned how to write Visual Basic macro code. You're not going to be able to do that with just point and click.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Now, by the way, just
on
the side, you see you can also, you see how the filter will change as well. The filter on the chart changes. It becomes a pivot chart.
Oh wait, did it automatically adjust my chart?
Yes.
It's linked to it. No, it's linked to what I did next to it. This.
Yeah.
I didn't see. So it changed. Well, actually, some of all 3 years. I guess my chart before it accounted for years 1 and 2 if it was under 3 also. So it's linked.
Yep.
Pivot chart. You said, we say yes? Yes.
Yeah, it should be yes, automatically.
Yeah, automatically. So it
automatically
changed the chart. I see. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Huh. Okay. And then,
Lauren, I think you understand how that worked?
Yeah, I think this is one step ahead of where I'm at. So I don't want to
as long as you have an idea of what you can do with pivot tables, which is the idea.
Yeah, I think I need to play with them a little bit and get comfortable, but I understand the concept of it.
Okay. Well, you'll have the video, so that'll help.
Right.
And then the last part to me is somebody else has defined as stat tools, but you said we don't need to do that.
Correct.
It says using this data set, create a table of correlation. I don't understand this of tables of correlations of the 3 salary variables.
Yep.
So I don't understand what they're getting at.
Highlight
go to here. What am I highlighting exactly?
Highlight the 3 salary variables. Highlight D, E, and F all the way down.
But it's also saying I need to highlight also this column here because it's talking about for 3 years playing, correct?
What did the questions exactly say?
It says using this data set, create a table of correlations of the 3 salary variables. It says define a stat tools data set only the players who played all 3 years. Using this data set, create a table of correlations of the 3 salary variables.
Right.
So there's 2 variables because it's including all 3 years.
Right.
Unless I'm interpreting this question wrong.
No. You got the question correct. So
how can you? I guess the question: how can you highlight? Before we highlighted everything for a pivot table to. I guess do I have to highlight everything, even though this is all this stuff here is in between this column and these 3.
Yeah. So what happens is stat tools is macro based and it will filter everything. It'll filter the data set and create a subset for you.
Right.
Based on some things. We could actually do that. Just do a correlation of the 3 years. Okay. Don't worry about the other piece. I'm not worried about it.
So highlight this.
Highlight that and do a correlation and be done with it.
It's just a correlation. You just want a correlation.
That's correct.
Okay.
See, the problem is that the end of that question uses stat tools. And the problem is that it's really just a way to promote their stat tools book. You can't technically use stat tools in your job because it's a licensed piece of software with the book, right? You're not supposed to. Could you do it? Sure. That's between you and company and all that other stuff. But there are other tools that do other things. Filtering data and getting what you want is a little bit more advanced, and you should learn how to do that with something called tables. But don't worry about it right now.
Data analysis, correlation.
Yep.
Input range, group by columns.
That's correct. So take your D1 colon D to F whatever.
Colon F1.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the last. That's a semicolon, by the way. It's you need a colon.
So So that would be, input range would be from the top
D1,
here all the way to the bottom?
All the way to the bottom, correct. So that's F1574. And then click labels in the first row because you have labels in the first row.
The input range is from, it would be
Is your
D1
data.
to D1574.
No,
right?
no, to F because you need all the columns.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then choose your output range. So click output range. You got to click the button first. And then choose where you want it to go. So move it all the way over to like X.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Better not be sick there, Lauren.
I'm getting sick for sure.
You're going to get everybody else sick online.
Okay, so.
There you go. Boom. Enter. Done. Okay. Voila. Boom. Look at that.
Wow.
So that's actually correlation, almost one. High, strong correlation between the 7, 8, 7, 9.
Yep.
8, 9. I mean, it's just basically saying, well, so what can you infer? That just the salaries are comparable year to year.
That's correct.
That's basically it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, again,
Now,
some of these questions are hard to
watch this.
Interpret.
Now that you did that, right? Let's say, oh my God, like totally, we have to figure out how to do the 3 years, like for sure. Scroll over to the left.
You're saying 3 years.
I'll do this with an upward inflection. Sorry.
What do you want me to do?
Okay, go all the way to the left and go all the way back up. Do you have a column that tells you that they played all 3 years?
Yes.
Sort it by that column. So basically take the whole data set again. So highlight the whole data set. Wait, what are you doing?
Highlight this whole data set here?
Well, yes, but I need you to go all the way over to A as well.
So highlight everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Go all the way down. What was that keystroke you had? Command Shift down, Lauren?
Yes.
Okay. Which is Control Shift down for you, Eric, because you're on a Mac, on a PC. Now watch this. Control Shift down arrow will highlight, I guess, the data set.
That will save so much time.
Go up to data now, or data, depending on how you would like to say it. You're going to click sort. Now what you're going to do is you're going to sort by column K, which it might say all 3 years. Yep, click on that. Choose yes, no, all 3 years, and do it order Z to A because yes comes first. Click OK.
So is this creating a new column?
Nope, it's going to sort your data, right? And it's going to put the yeses first. Cool.
Oh.
Now go do your correlation and only choose the data up to where the yeses end.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So wait, but you say do the correlation.
Yeah.
Oh, the same correlation.
You're going to do the same correlation. The only difference is you find out where the yeses end, which is right there, right, to 291. So go do D. Yeah, you don't have to highlight it first because that'll be an issue. But go to data analysis, Correlation. You now just change it from F1574 to, what was it, 271 that we said?
I think so.
Cool. You got everything that you want, but okay, it's going to overwrite what you previously did. So click cancel, choose a new output range. Instead of M41, do M50. That should be enough space.
Yeah.
50, not 40. Cool. Click OK. Oh, just change it to M50. Just backspace. Hit backspace. Yeah. M50. No shit. M50.
Okay. Should I cancel it?
No. Just type M5. Well, yep. M50. Good. Okay. Boom. Go up to M50. There it is.
I see.
Did it change much?
No. Oh, so did it change?
Very
no, it's not exact because why would
it didn't change much. Now you have a conclusion that the salaries from year to year are almost the same exact correlation, whether they played all 3 years or not.
Oh, I see. You did. We actually did it with all 3 years.
Yep. Make sense?
Yeah. So that was by sorting.
Yep.
Because right, it's not asking for a pit. Could you do questions? Could you do a pivot table? Get this. Well, it's not, pivot table is not going to give correlation.
Pivot table doesn't give correlation, nor do pivot tables are used to aggregate the data.
Right.
The sorting.
Could you do a pivot table first to aggregate it?
You do a pivot table to aggregate, correct. But you're not going to do a correlation on the aggregation.
You're not.
Nope. You don't correlate on aggregation, usually.
Right. These are individual ones. Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So sorting basically
helps
no
that
difference. No difference in that it, comparing to whether they played 1 year or 3.
Now, part of the reason why that is because Excel has to ignore columns that have blanks in them. So in other words, if you only played 1 year, it can't do a correlation. It can't include that record because you don't have another value. You don't have year 1 and year 2, right? So anybody who only played 1 year, it's not going to have. And then you're going to have another problem where, 2 and 3, if you don't have a 3, it won't use that row to compare 2 and 3. So in reality, you're going to get the same information. You're going to get the same value. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I just started briefly to glance at the videos for chapter 4. Some of these formulas seem a little familiar from the we had to do a statistics workshop before this class.
Yep.
I remember one of them one of the questions I didn't do because it was rather time consuming and I wasn't getting very far was a probability tree.
Yep.
Used to be, I don't know, a little advanced in my opinion, but
I passed on that one too.
that one was. Yeah, I remember that, and I was having palpitations. Like the explanation was like 2 pages long on how to do it.
Right.
Let me interject for 1 second. I'm a math major, but when I was going through this, it was difficult for me to understand because it's basically where the hell did that number come from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try and go through my videos. Then, if you run into an issue, pause. Let me take you can skip over it and come back to it. Let me take 20 minutes and explain to you why there's no magic and why it's really not even difficult. And I'm sorry, Eric, where do you work again? What do you do? You're a physician, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
yeah.
You're in wine sales, right?
Correct.
Both of you could totally use that probability tree. And what I'll try and do is give you an example, because specifically for something like wine, it would be the probability of having a broken case given the fact that you put it on a particular type of truck. And in the physician case, the probability of having an adverse event given the fact that you have a particular team working in an operating room.
Mm.
And that's what it is, because you would take basically a probability of an adverse event occurring, let's say it's 1%, or the probability of a broken case of wine is basically 3%. Well, but what happens is, because of the type of truck it's on, you might actually have that probability. Hey, you have a 20% probability of having a broken case if you put it on this type of truck.
Right.
And in the adverse event, if you have a certain set of group team members working, your probability of an adverse event goes up from 1% to 5%. That's what the tree is going to tell you. And it is one of the most powerful concepts in probability and statistics and in any type of data science. And if you get it and you begin to understand it, a lot changes for you.
Will we be doing that in this class?
Huh?
Will we be doing that in this course?
You're doing it in chapter 4.
Okay.
But I don't go through it in detail. But if you want to go through it in more detail, I'd be happy to do it. Because it actually is founded on a very simple principle from the 1600s by a priest known as Father Thomas Bayes. And it's called Bayesian Analysis. He did all this work. And it's amazing how well it works. It's used everywhere.
Great.
All right, I'll try.
Very interesting.
I'll try to work my way through it.
Yeah, and it's got to be fun and it's got to be meaningful. So what we do is, I may even tell you, go get me some data that has this and this. Then we'll just use your data. And then you're really going to get it. You're going to be like, oh, wow, this guy Bayes was so cool. I got to like hang out with him.
Yeah, maybe if it's applicable to what we're doing, it'll make things come easier.
It is all applicable to what you're doing. I just don't know what everybody does, nor do I have data sets that match. You give it to me, we'll figure out how to make it work.
All right. Appreciate the help.
About nerding out. That's what I love doing. And now I got to go back to my pasta sauce.
Enjoy your dinner. Thank you so much for your help.
Take care. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Have a great night. Bye.